And there we are. Welcome to Thursday night. Bobby Gray here, your host, founder, and fearless leader, joining you for a continuation of our Week 93 marathon. Guys, we talked about Week 93 being the kickoff to 2026, a new year. We've got a lot of stuff in the past now, and we're ready to go. And it's so good to have so many great people joining us. 72 of you so far on tonight's call. Thank you. Thank you again. I will be here with you every night this week as we go through everything from top to bottom to make sure that you have all the tools in your tool belt required to crush it as we go into 2026. So thanks again for joining. Let's begin. I like to start right on schedule. This call is recorded, so if you need to go back later and brush up on whatever you missed or the details you might like to grab, please do so. Just a quick recap of the last couple of days, if I can remember it correctly. Monday night, we talked about what good money is and how crypto, a lot of cryptos are good money. Tuesday, we talked about what's happening in the realm of mining and how the dots between the size of our mine and the value of our coin need to be connected by our work together. Last night, what did we talk about last night? Oh, my favorite thing, downtown digital dollars. We spent a lot of time last night talking about layer two. We created a new coin right here live during our call, which I thought was a lot of fun. We made 100 trillion bazillion virtue coins and had an opportunity to play around with sending downtown dollars from one wallet to another. Tonight, we're going to talk about TEXIT Coin and what is it is exactly that makes us different. And this conversation is really driven by what we're talking about these days at the office. And these days, the conversation all around the office revolves around the CRM. CRM, what does it mean? It means contact or customer relationship management, CRM. What it means is developing relationships all the way to the point of success. And I'll tell you kind of what that actually means in a minute. But I want you to think about this as if TEXIT Coin, mine TXC, is now shifting into second gear. I had like an R1 sports bike for a while. This Yamaha, crotch rocket machine that's way too fast and way too dangerous for me to be riding around. Of course, in my old age, with my commitment to you and our project, I'm not allowed to be taking wild risks like this so much anymore. I can't go skydiving, couldn't even ride in the hot air balloon the other day, and definitely can't be cruising around town on one of those rocket motorbike things that has a first gear that goes all the way up to like 95 miles per hour. Who needs to go 95 miles per hour in first gear? What a ridiculous thing that is. But that was kind of TEXIT Coin. In first gear, with our first shot right out of the gate, we went from zero to 140 plus million dollars, zero to almost 22% of our mines sold, 30% purchased, zero to 55,000 people in our community. We set out to accomplish all these goals, and I think we really crushed it in first gear. And along the way, somehow we became so successful that we are now in the top 1% of all cryptocurrency projects in the history of the world in first gear. And I think that's pretty substantial. I think we should remember, as we talked about around the holiday season, to stop for a moment and to congratulate ourselves, get ourselves a pat on the back. Look around and be extremely grateful for all of the things that we've accomplished. Show some appreciation for the hard work. Show some love and support to our fellow TEXIT Coin miners for helping us get to where we are today. And and so we've come so far. And yet we were only really ever in first gear. So now it's time to shift into second gear. What is first gear? Why do I call it first gear? When I started TexIt Coin, I made a couple important and big decisions that oriented us on a path to go a particular way. And I did that because TexIt Coin set out to establish its value by building a mine. And other people have built mines before. It's pretty easy to build mines. You just buy the equipment, you ship it over from China, you plug it in, and voila, you've got a mine. So it's not that hard to build a mine. It's hard to build a big one, but it's not that hard to actually go through the technical process of, building a cryptocurrency mine. Now, most people that do it to mine Bitcoin or Dogecoin or something else. So we're doing it obviously very different. We'll talk more about that in a few moments. But the hard part is actually to get a value for TXC. That's what we set out to do that was different than everyone else. And that's hard because getting a value for something that nobody knows about, nobody cares about, nobody respects, nobody even has heard of, that's a challenge. And in order to do that, we need to bring a community together. Remember, just like Metcalfe's law states, in any network, like a currency network, the value of the network, the value of the currency exponentially increases with every new person that joins that community, that network. And so we set out to build this mine, but we also set out to build a community. And when I went down that path, I said, you know what? Love it or hate it, a tried and true method to build a community of people that are eager to contribute to each other's success is this thing that kind of looks and smells and tastes a little bit like network marketing, which a lot of people love to hate. So we did it kind of like network marketing, not exactly like it, call it what you want. But the point is that we decided to use this affiliate type of program to bring our community together. And I did it the old fashioned way. Everyone told me back in the very beginning, you can't do that without the internet, without Facebook, without social media, without online marketing, without funnels and all these other high-tech fancy pants tools. You'll never be able to bring a community together because people don't do that anymore. Everyone would prefer to just stay at home, sit on their couch, and like connect through social media, tweets, and whatnot. I said, no, how could we ever imagine using that kind of system to bring a community together? We got to get people up and off the couch. We need to get them to go down to someone else's house or to a local restaurant or a coffee shop. We need them to like look each other in the eye and come to the conclusion that the person they're talking to that's inviting them to join this community is telling the truth. We need them to be able to look at them and decide if that person's being honest. And you're not going to be able to make that kind of meaningful connection over the internet. You just can't do it. When 2026 and 2025 and 2024, we live in the time of AI. You used to be able to like watch a video and see with your own eyes and believe something is true. Now it's almost indiscernible from reality. That's why we caution people, hey, be really careful. If you get a text message from some guy that says he's Bobby, be skeptical, please. If you get a phone call from somebody that says that they're Bobby calling you and they need you to transfer some money, don't do it. Because as this stuff gets more and more advanced, it becomes more and more difficult to discern reality from the things that are fake. That's tough. And so I said, if we're in a world where people really can't tell what's real and what's fake news, let's just bring each other together. It's post-COVID world. Let's forget about social distancing. Let's put the masks down. Let's get together, cough on each other, share forks and spoons, break some bread, be honest and upfront with each other, look each other in the eye, and do it the old-fashioned way. Because that is what I believe is the only way to build a strong community of people that are going to bring themselves together and take time out of their day to try something new and different. That's first gear. We did it. And doing it the old-fashioned way, the way that was impossible, took us all the way up to the top 1% of cryptocurrency projects ever made. Remember, with gratitude, optimism is sustainable. Stop and take a moment. Take a look at what we accomplished the hard way, the old fashioned way. But at the same time, here I am in 2026 looking back and saying, man, we really made things fairly difficult for ourselves. We weren't using click funnels. We didn't have go high level. We weren't using tools to collect people's informations and zeros and ones and email addresses and phone numbers. We didn't rely on text message campaigns. We didn't have bulk email blasts. We didn't use any of these really simple but really powerful tools to get to where we are. We did it the old fashioned way. We did it man to man, man to woman, woman to woman. We did it from one family to another. And we did it. And it got us really, really, really far. But it didn't put us over the finish line. I look at that and I'm not frustrated. I'm not disappointed. I'm the last one to look at that and say, oh man, it failed. Well, remember, failure is just a way of describing a result that you didn't want. When Thomas Edison demonstrated the first incandescent light bulb back 100 and something years ago, he had to perform over 10,000 experiments. And every time he got it wrong, he said, not, I have failed, but he said, I have found yet another way how to not make a light bulb. And so I look at the work that we've done here in first gear and I applaud ourselves. I'm extremely grateful to the wonderful people that I've met along the journey. Some of my best friends that I have today in my life are people that I've met through the work that we've done together. And I'm proud of that. I said it from day one that that was a top goal of ours, to make money, to have fun, and to build a community of people that care about honest money, their families, their communities. We did it. We did all three of those things. And man, what a journey it was. And now it's time for us to shift into second gear. Was that phase two? Is that layer two? Is that option B? Is it what kind of numbering system are we using this time, Bobby? No, no, no. We're just shifting into second gear. What does it mean? It means that now we have the tools to really take this thing to the next level. Share my screen with you here and show you what I'm talking about. Imagine my surprise the other day when I came across the website of my man, Jim Carrey. And I looked at this TexitVentures.com website and I said, man, what a great website this is. This is clean. I mean, take a look at my sites. Not this one, but the old one /old. There's where I started. Not bad. You know, it's not the worst website anyone's ever seen, but it hasn't been updated since day one. Where we are today is we've got a temporary landing page while we wait for our new site to get coded. It's almost done. Any day now, you'll see it pushed live. But I came across Jim Carrey's website and I said, and I'm not talking about the actor, by the way. We're talking about Jim Carrey, the Ranger. I'm talking about this guy. And I said, what have I done wrong where the best example of the introduction to TEXIT Coin isn't on my own website? You would think with my knowledge and resources and, can-do attitude, I would have the best website of all. After all, I can present TEXIT Coin better than anyone else. Maybe. I've seen some pretty good presentations out there, Tim. But I'm really good at this. Why don't I have the best website? Why is it that my man Jim has a better website than I have? And I got a little jealous for a minute, a little angry, a little hard on myself. And then I said, hey, maybe this guy, for the success and the good of our community, will let me buy this off him. Maybe he'll let me license it. And he'll let me share it with our community because, man, it's got so much great information on here. It answers all the questions. It's got, objections answered. It tells you even about me. Incidentally, that does not look like me at all. But there I am, the AI me anyway. My little background and history, the things that give me the credibility, I believe, to share this story with you. But what a great website. So I start digging into it. I reach out to Jim and I come to find out that he's built this thing on top of this platform called Go High Level. And I've heard of it before. I've never looked into it, but it's a whole comprehensive CRM, contact relationship manager, customer relationship manager system that does a whole lot more than just serve up a website. That's the least of what it does. And I looked into the tools that we have on this thing and I said, man, this is really great. In fact, I would even venture to say, sad as it may be to admit, that this is a key component that we've been missing for a very long time to provide the tools and resources to our community, our best people, our Texit Rangers, to go out there and build their communities and replicate the work that we've done. Think about it. They join, they put their money in, they get their spot, and they start going out there and sharing the story. We don't give them any templates. We don't give them any videos. We don't give them any brochures. We don't give them anything. We're expecting these guys to go out there and build all this stuff by themselves, for themselves, from the ground up. Some of them did okay. Some of them did really well, like Jim. Some of them didn't do anything at all, and we're relying instead on the measly resources that we put out for them on mindtxe.com. This website, again, it's not bad. It was just recently updated to include more charts and data and a little bit of social media stuff, but still it's a far, far cry from the quality that I found in Jim's page. And I stopped and I realized that I was asking our Texit Rangers to almost fly blind. Not because we didn't give them a nice website, but because we're expecting these Texit Rangers, the best of us, to go out there and build teams and support teams and to help each other through teamwork continue to grow our community. But not only did we not provide them with a nice website to do that, which is like 101 in this industry, but we didn't give them their data. We didn't tell them who's on their team. We said, you got a team, good luck figuring out how to manage them. Well, you're going to tell me who's on my team? You'll figure it out later. It'll be fine. Well, that later is now. And we're in the process right now of rolling out 108 iterations of Jim Carrey's beautiful CRM that comes not only with a customizable landing page and a full website where each individual ranger can go in and swap out their own information in place of the stuff we have here. Let me see if I can find another one, because we have another example that just went live with Coach Bud. Coach Bud, if you're out there, tell me what oh, I found it. Here you go. Let me share Coach Bud's. It just went live in the last couple of days, guys. Here's gethonestmoney.com. Check it out. You click on My Ranger and it's a totally different page. There's the story of Coach Bud and how TexitCoin has changed his life. And now today, for the first time ever, we handed Coach Bud his team, the names and the phone numbers and the email addresses of the people that he's supposed to be reaching out to and working with to help them grow and succeed with TexitCoin. We've been asking him to do a tough job, and we've been asking him to do it in the dark. And that's a really, really big way for us to shift from first gear into second gear. Let's start using some of these powerful tools that we've had access to for a while. People have been yelling and screaming at me, hey man, we got to improve this. We got to improve it. Someone did it. I fell in love. And now every one of you is going to have access to that in the very near future. It's not just for the Texit Rangers. Anybody that has brought a single person into our community has a team. Even if you've sponsored one person, your team's very small, but your team's got to start somewhere. And in order for your team to be successful, you need the tools and the duplicatable, the replicatable systems to engage them, to nurture those relationships, and to help them develop and grow and prosper along with the rest of us. It starts there. But then what happens next is you start putting your own data into this system. If you want to host a dinner, People go onto the website, your page, your CRM to register for that event. You're collecting all this information. Hey, how about we pair that up with the shipment of a free cold storage coin to anybody that registers and watches a 3-minute video? Watch a 3-minute video introducing TEXIT Coin. We'll mail you a cold storage wallet. That comes in the mail. You get it, you look at it, and you go, wow, this is cool. There's a physical product that I now have in my hand. How about we send them an email to follow up and ask them if they want to load their first 10 TXC onto that? How revolutionary would that be if we actually started using these powerful tools that are here at our fingertips to start growing our community? Never tried it, never did it. This is what it's like to shift into second gear. We got really, really far in first gear. To think that first gear could have taken us all the way to the finish line, that would have been impressive. But to think of how far it took us, the mine, the community, the resources, the cash, the experiences, unreal. And now we shift into second gear with TEXIT Coin, a top 1% most successful cryptocurrency projects ever in the history of crypto. And that is something to be proud of. And get ready, folks. It's coming soon to a CRM platform near you. As soon as we get our Rangers onboarded and trained and figure out how to run this thing, we'll invite everyone else to join us as well. It's a process. It's not free. We're charging $1 a month for access to these powerful tools that Jim and his team spent months building and perfecting. And they're really good, guys. And I think you're going to be very happy with it, because it's going to give you the ability to further grow and present to the world TEXIT Coin, an original layer 1 cryptocurrency that's considerably different from everything else that's out there in the world of crypto in a couple important ways. And I want to go through these things real quick. And that'll be our Thursday night call. Number 1, I don't know why. I'm not sure why I'm the only guy that seemed to have thought of it, but TEXIT Coin, so far as I know, is one of the only cryptocurrencies that's made exclusively in America. Strange. You know, we're yelling and screaming about making America great again. Guys, we have everything that we need right here. All the technology, all the great minds. And when you're talking about a community currency, we're talking about lots and lots of people that can make this alternative complementary currency work. TEXIT Coin is different in the fact that it is exclusively mined in Texas. It's the only cryptocurrency of its type that has a geographical limitation on where it can be physically mined. TEXIT Coin is one of the few cryptocurrencies on planet Earth today that is permissioned. Decentralized, but permissioned. What does that mean? It means that mining is profitable. The other night, we took a look at a comparison of mining technologies and opportunities. If you go out there and you buy the $6,000 Bitmain S21X Pro whatever machine, and you plug it into your grid here in the state of Texas, where we've got really abundant, inexpensive power, you will make -4 cents per day. I even looked it up the other day about what it would profit if you joined something like Antpool. Antpool is the world leading Bitcoin mining facility. You want to join a pool instead of going through the rigmarole of getting your own mining hardware and setting it up? Check it out. Join the Bitcoin pool. You will earn yourself a whopping 3.9 cents per day. That is the daily revenue. It's theoretical. 4 cents a day. With TEXIT Coin, we established a permissioned mining system. This is important on a lot of levels. Number 1, it creates an extremely level playing field. It means that if you would like to mine our coin, you got to go through the front door. You got to follow the same rules that everybody else follows. It does not matter how much money you bring to the party. It doesn't matter whether or not you're the guy that manufactures the chips that are used in the ASICs. It does not matter if you get electricity for free. It means that you must join us on the same level playing field as everyone else. $1,000 buys 100 mega hash. You can buy up to 900 mega hash. That's the most that anyone's allowed to buy with new money. If you want more hash power than that, you got to earn it through either one of our two affiliate programs. It also means that our network is manageable. It means that our network is updatable. The other night, I guess it was last night, we went through and we did a transaction where we sent 100 TXC from one wallet to another wallet. Let's take a quick look at that transaction because this is interesting math. We did a transaction with MCK. We sent 100 MCK from one wallet to another. Let's take a look at that transaction in the blockchain, in the mempool. It costs 257 units, the smallest units of TEXIT Coin. And so if we use our calculator here and we say, okay, 0.0000257 is what the transaction fee in TXC ended up costing us. Well, TexIT Coin today is worth $1.10, let's say. And so that transaction yesterday didn't cost a penny, not a tenth of a penny, not a hundredth of a penny, not a thousandth of a penny, but 2.8 hundred thousandths of a penny. But let's suppose that TexitCoin Coin all of a sudden becomes incredibly valuable. We all certainly hope that that day comes. And that little teeny tiny transaction fee multiplied by $120,000 TexitCoin Coin is 30 cents. Well, it doesn't sound like a lot, but if that 30 cents is to buy a cup of coffee for $5, it's actually a pretty substantial cost. Think about it. 30 cents divided by $5, that's a 6% transaction fee. Someone's going to look at that and they're going to say, why would I ever use crypto to do that when it's just 3% to swipe my credit card? People are always going to use the most convenient, least expensive money. And so we look at that and we go, well, we designed TEXIT Coin to be a money first cryptocurrency. We don't want it to be digital gold. We're not here to make our fortunes off of transaction fees. So how about this novel idea? Let's reduce the transaction fee. Let's make it half a crock for a byte of text in the transaction data, or a quarter, or a tenth, or 100. Because we're a currency first blockchain, we have the ability to modify the fee to fit the specific application that we're targeting. And because our blockchain's being made to support money, currency, purchases in marketplace, we want that currency transaction fee to be as inexpensive as we possibly can make it. So why did Bitcoin become digital gold? Because the transaction fee went up so high, that's proportion to the price as a function of the price, that you couldn't really use it cost effectively. We looked at transaction fees the other night. And sometimes Bitcoin transaction fees are $5, $10, $15, $20 a transaction, unusable in a marketplace. But permission for us means that we have control. We can limit who comes in. So the guy with the big, deep pockets and the fancy chips and the free energy isn't able to take all of our coins. We got to remember there's a big difference between permissioned and decentralized. Decentralized is important. We don't have to worry about generators and maximum uptime at each site because we sprinkle our sites and our mining equipment across the state in our data centers and in homes all over the state of Texas. That makes it so that we don't have to worry about 100% uptime at every facility like the other guys worry about. We focus on permissioned mining so that if you decide to join us as a miner, mining will always be profitable. Meaning that little teeny tiny piece of TexitCoin Coin that you get every day will always have a market value, and you don't get diluted into oblivion because some guy, some institution, some hedge fund, some bank showed up at the party and decided they wanted all the daily rewards. TexitCoin Coin is significant. Laugh all you want on this one. It took me a little while to decide to write it down on my list because we have me. Don't want to tote my own horn too much, but there's a page on this new website. I didn't make the page, it's dedicated to me. Where'd it go? Our founder. There he is. I've actually done a few things in the world of parallel and alternative currencies that have given me the authenticity, the experience to be having this conversation with you here today. I'm not a guy that just showed up and decided he wanted to get rich off crypto. I'm not a guy that's here for a money grab. I'm actually a guy that's been concerned about money. And I believe deeply that bad, dishonest money is at the root, the bottom of every injustice that we have here on planet Earth today. Do I think that honest money is going to fix everything? No. But do I think it'll give humanity a real shot? Yeah, I do. And so when I came along and I said, hey, I'm going to start my own crypto, like thousands of other people do every single day, why did the world listen? Well, some people listened because they said, this actually seems like a guy that might be telling the truth. He might be here for the long haul. He might be willing to follow through on what he says. Well, that means he's fixing the road and not giving up because the neighbors are giving him a hard time, or it means that he's going to keep going even if the price drops down. Decide for yourself. But I've got enough experience in the realm of alternative and complementary currencies that I might just be the right person to lead this project all the way through to its success. But more important than that is I've got you. And we talked about that at the very beginning of this call, about how I did this the old fashioned way. I built this relying on good old fashioned human being to human being, individual to individual relationships. I've got you. And so when people are out there talking trash, trolling us on the internet, I've got a whole army of miners now that have a vested interest in our success. I'm not here by myself in this journey. In fact, I can't do it at all without you. The work that we've done together, the crowdfunding that we did to put our cash on the table, that's the money that we've used to promote our coin. We're almost a household name here in Texas. We didn't need to bring on a big donor. We didn't need to borrow money from a bank. We didn't need a hedge fund to make a deep investment and implant their board of directors to decide whether or not we should do what's best for the community and the marketplace or do what's best for the investors and shareholders. We got here through you and our little crowd-funded, successful, put your money in and buckle up tight strategy that allowed us to invest in our core technology, that allowed us to invest in our marketing and promotion efforts, that allowed us to invest in market making and liquidity efforts, that allowed us to invest in our layer two and our downtown digital program. We did all of these things with TEXIT Coin without having to sell a single TXC, without having to go on a dog and pony show to hedge fund offices around the country. We didn't have to bow down, take a knee, and kiss the ring of somebody that gave us permission to get to where we are today. We did it all with you. Risk and trust is how we got to where we are today. It's the first time ever in my career that I've had someone other than myself have a vested interest in my success. I've never had partners, never had investors and, board of directors. I've never had anybody watching my back the way that this community has kept an eye out for our success. I've never had people holding me accountable the way that I've got you tuning in night after night after night, making sure that come hell or high water, we do the right thing, even when people aren't looking, even when it's hard. Tell me what other cryptocurrency you know of that has these things. I don't know of any other one. The future of money is digital. We talked extensively about that the other night. It's been getting increasingly digital over time. And I don't know why. I don't know who let the cat out of the bag or what happened to allow cryptocurrency in 2008 and 2009 to become part of our world. but we've got on planet Earth today what might be the most open and honest and transparent and accountable monetary system mankind has ever seen. From shells to tally sticks to gold and silver to dollars and everything in between. Today, we have the best money man has ever seen. It's digital, which is even interesting by itself. We've shed the physical form of money, and yet at the same time, our money has become more open, more honest, more transparent, more portable, more verifiable. All those great properties of money are embedded in good crypto. TEXIT Coin is good crypto for all the reasons we lined up. It's made in America. It's built exclusively in Texas. It's got you and me. It's permission so that we have the ability to continue to build this thing and continue to win along the way as this system and this network of art gets bigger and bigger as we go. It's a really exciting thing. And I don't know how or why you stumbled upon this Zoom call. Call it luck, call it the universe, call it divine intervention. I don't know why, but you found one of the few things that's real, that's open, that's honest, that's new, that's still cheap. The whole world hasn't heard about us yet. When are you going to be on Coinbase? Hopefully not for a while. Hopefully not until lots and lots of people have the ability to take their seat on the rocket ship. And as that day comes and we blast off to the very top of the cryptocurrency industry, sharing our message of peace and prosperity with people around the world. What a lucky thing to look back and consider that you were here today and invited by the founder to put your money on the table, to take that one-time leap of faith, to buckle up, to hold on tight, and to join us for the adventure that is TEXIT Coin. I'm Bobby Gray. I started this thing in 2024. We're a couple weeks away now from our 2-year block anniversary. We've come so far, and now as we shift into second gear, I'm excited about what the future brings. I'm working hard every day on Downtown Digital and our utility. That's phase 2. And all of this stuff is coming together beautifully because this little system that we made that's open, honest, transparent has worked great. And now we shift into second gear and we really kick in the afterburners with really powerful tools built by great people on our team that have a vested interest in our success and are also working hard every day for us to get there. That's why I know this thing is going to work. Because you've got me and I've got you. And together, only together, can we take this thing to the very top of the cryptocurrency industry. It's called TEXIT Coin. It's an original layer 1 crypto that's made in Texas, not for Texas, not for Americans, but for everyone who thinks that honest money is an important tool of a civilized society. I'm Bobby Gray. I want to thank you for joining me for Thursday night as part of our Week 93 marathon where we cover everything from top to bottom. I'll be back here tomorrow night. I don't know what's on the docket for tomorrow night, but I'm sure it's going to be great. And I invite you to come back and join me. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys again tomorrow. Good night.